today talking with John Krygsman. He is one of the 6 artists participating in our Realism and Drawing exhibition. Thanks for talking with me today, John.
Well, we'll see what comes of it. It's good to be with you.
Thank you. So you have contributed 2 pieces, and it's different than the work of some of the other artists because you're dealing with drawing and then sculpture.
In my world, Danielle, drawing and sculpture are not separated. They work together. They both have, in my estimation, an attempt to deal with form. Drawing as a way of drawing out for myself what that form means to me, but also the intricacies of light play and shadow and all of what you would expect to feel and see in sculpture. Sculpture to me is like the tactile version of my drawing.
Yeah, fascinating. I like that relationship because when we were putting this show together, that's something we were kind of thinking about. What is the role of drawing in an artist's practice, right? And how does it inform their other work? How does it stand alone as a finished piece? All those things. Sculpture had been created previously, but it took on new meaning for you during the pandemic.
Yes, the drawing, of course, is complete response to the pandemic. The sculpture, however, deals with something that I have been dealing with in my work throughout my entire production of work. The concept of separation and the concept of life coming together, of life including people in your life and then losing them or passing them off, sort of, is really part of that separation thing that's a theme throughout my work. Even when doing just one figure, there is a longing kind of for something that has become separated, but an attempt to hold it and hold it back and reconsider it. So the drawing that you have in the exhibition as a response to the pandemic is a complete mourning of a kind. And I hate to say that, but there's a beauty in mourning and separateness, but there is that same concept being presented in the sculpture that I have included in the show. It is indeed a separation between 2 people going on.
I find it interesting that you work in such 2 very different mediums. Can you tell us a bit about the sculpture and the drawing process?
The sculpture process for me is extremely tactile. You cannot make a body casting without touching and working with the model. They're gracious and beautiful to work with. The human body, of course, to me is one of the most lovely things imaginable. In the drawing phase, it's unique because the forms are created by the tip of a sharpened pencil, in this case only 3 colors of Prismacolor pencil crayon, red, yellow, and blue. But the same dealing with the shadow, the light, the insinuation of form, of course it's perfectly flat, but the insinuation of form bears a complete relationship to the tactile quality of creating a body cast, creating the sculpture that you see in this exhibition.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I love they're such different mediums, a beautiful complement to one another. But you actually have 2 different studios in which to create each kind of work.
Well, that's true. I have a clean studio, but if you were to enter it, it's quite interesting. If anyone has ever had the experience of visiting an artist studio, I think of our now departed Herb Harris. His studio it was hard to find him in there most times. My studio is equally loaded with goods, and it's a bit hard to negotiate at times. The dirty studio that I have, where I create the fiberglass and other objects of art, including other practical objects, is a 24 by 24 foot space with a fiberglassing station, welding equipment, and this is just a joy to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're so happy to have your work in this show, John. You were actually one of the first artists that exhibited at Westland Gallery when we were opening the gallery and had the very first exhibition. So it's a pleasure to have your work back here.
Well, Al and Karen have been very good to me, and it's great to be working with you, Danielle. I find you very easy and very personable to work with.
Thank you so much. Yeah. We're looking forward to getting the show up on the walls.
Well, I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you, John.